Entitled neighbor likes to play musical cars hogging the shared parking space, so I beat him at his own game. I bought a condo earlier this year in a subdivided historic home in my city. The home has 6 units, each unit with minimum 1 car. Street parking only. Our neighbors are the absolute worst. I'm guessing mid-late 60, married M.F. The wife never leaves home. For months I thought they had 4 vehicles: SUV, truck, mini, and work van. They are one of the few homes on the street with a driveway which comfortably fits his work van and truck. They also could fit 3 of the 4 vehicles in front of their house on the street if they wanted. Despite that, they parked their mini in the driveway, truck in front of my house, work van across the street, and SUV in front of theirs. And they never deviate. Someone moved out of one of the units in my home and they wouldn't even move for the moving van, nor when I was doing renovations and moving lumber in and out, or when landscaping crews come in. Since it's a city, we have mandatory no parking 1 day a month and designated hours for street sweeping. This is when they move 2 cars into their driveway, and how I know 2 cars comfortably fit. Well, first month I lived here they moved their cars back too early during the no parking times, and got tickets on truck and SUV. It made my day, but not enough. I've slowly been trying to figure out how to steal the spot back. You see, they like to play magical cars. When husband leaves with his truck, wife comes out with him and like clockwork pulls the mini out of driveway into his spot in front of my home, leaving no cars in driveway. And she parks 6+ feet, and so there is always room for the truck when he returns. Every day. For months. My boyfriend moves in, gently asks if we can share. Husband says yes, of course. Next day, truck is parked elsewhere. We thought, wow, they are nice, and now see a beat-up Jeep there. After a few weeks it didn't move. One night, late, we see this douche nozzle cleaning the Jeep. It is his. So 5 cars, not 4. Slowly I start with them. I learn the city parking codes. Report the Jeep as an abandoned vehicle and got it towed. Mail them an anonymous package of horse S with a note calling them as trashy as this package. Everything legal, but still scheming how to steal the spot back we are to share in front of my home. It's been 10 months and no one has parked there but the truck or mini to hold his spot. I watch them every day to find time to steal the spot back, but they always beat me to it. But today was the day. No parking for street sweeping. An hour before the ban ends I say F it. Walk across the street where I was parked to move my car. Like clockwork I see the husband come out, who was clearly watching me. As I open my car I see him unlocking the mini so he can beat me. I race to turn my car on and pull into the spot, beating the F to it. I'm in my car shaking with excitement and the jerk starts taking pictures of my car. I get out and ask why. Apparently, I'm in violation of the code he studied, of having to park more than 3 feet from his driveways. I walk over, step with my feet, and count. Not good enough for him. I tell him to get a tape measure and he's like, nah, I'll just report you like you did me 3 times. I did once, so this tells you how much the entire neighborhood hates them. I walk myself inside, grab a tape measure, lay on the bare pavement, measure 3 feet and mark it on the sidewalk. Ask him again if that's good enough and say so much for sharing. Huh. He says this is all public parking, so good luck. You can't park here forever. Bet. I work from home B. And my boyfriend does, too. You don't know petty, you self-entitled boomer. Now it's your turn to watch musical cars in action from the pettiest millennials around. From the comments, birdseed. Pour it all over the cars. OP, I thought about things like that, but I know they've gotta be watching. How else would he have known the exact second I walked out to move my car today so he could beat me to it? Comment, easy. Pour it on the car during the night. OP, I thought about after walking my dog one night and having the bag in my hand to accidentally put my hand inside the door handle real quick so to leave a fun surprise in the morning. But I am making sure to do everything within the legal limits. It's fun to fantasize about it though. He suspects we sent the horse S, but even that he can't prove. We are going to get a camera though to watch from our windows because we genuinely do not trust these people to not F with our cars. I've already decided that I won't be moving my car during next month's street cleaning day. It's worth eating that parking ticket. Update 1. Okay, so I finally have an update for all my active listeners. The day we won the second battle of securing the coveted spot. Battle 1 was when boyfriend kindly asked to share and neighbor says yay of course, then promptly parks a beater Jeep for weeks on end thinking he got one past us. We sadly lost that noble first fight was 14 days ago. That day I had my car parked for a few hours before moving into it, my boyfriend's truck. There she sat ever since. Poor baby sat so long we needed to call in my friend to jumpstart the battery. You see, today we decided to do our first swap. The idea came to us yesterday after a few long days. As I promised watch me to my baber's threat that I can't park there forever, I have not moved boyfriend's truck in 14 days. Not 1 inch. But alas, there were a few times where we both needed to be out at the same time. We persevered, though, and managed to survive while learning some great life skills along the way. Picture it. I drop boyfriend off at his friend's, driving roughly 80 minutes round trip. He's there all day lending a helping hand on some DIY home repairs. I run some errands and before long it's dark and raining. Out of the corner of my eye I am alerted to the glow of my low tire light. I pull over to find a flat, nowhere near home and another 30 minutes from my boyfriend and his friend. I figured out on my own how to change my tire. For the first time in my life, in the dark, in the rain, with only my phone light to help. Just as I was finishing tightening the lug nuts of the spare, boyfriend and boyfriend's friend arrive. You see, even boyfriend's friend is on board helping us do all we can to keep that spot. And the universe provided me the ability to learn something new. Go meet. Thanks universe. So back to the main topic at hand. Yesterday boyfriend saw neighbor for the first time since our battle 14 days ago. Being the friendly man that he is, boyfriend proudly waved saying howdy neighbor. While smiling ear to ear, neighbor glared back sharing nay but a peep. We've since then concluded that neighbor thinks he can bully me but not my boyfriend. If only he knew I'm feistier than 10 of my boyfriends put together. I may have lost battle 1 but I'm fixing to win this war my friends. Anyone who knows us knows it's me you shouldn't mess with, not boyfriend. I don't lose. But also, is battle 1 really lost? I did manage, after all, to get neighbor's Jeep towed because I was petty enough to learn all the city parking codes. Alas, neighbor's staunch silence made us realize it's been a while, and that we were due for a swap. We now are back to the earlier tonight part of our story. Boyfriend discovers his battery drained due to lack of use. I call my friend the second local ally supporting us in our cause to give us a jump. The second boyfriend starts his engine. He sees neighbor peer out of his living room window, ready to pounce thinking he'd swoop in. Not today my dude. Not today. Boyfriend makes eye contact with him and neighbor immediately hides. He then continues trying to snag a quick glimpse every few minutes to see if boyfriend would drive off before quickly hiding again. Nah, we let it run for 30 minutes. I then got in my car, pulled up right behind boyfriend's truck, and gently pulled into the spot as boyfriend pulled out. He then walked over to behind my car and guided me in like he was symboling an airplane to park. We adjusted until exactly 3 feet from neighbor's driveway. Per the city code, you know. Thank you handy mark and pink Sharpie I made earlier this month. I then jumped into his still running truck and we drove off into the distance for some snacks so to celebrate our victory, for we now know how he watches us. Story 2, got back at a scammer. So in November I wanted a packer and mover to get a washing machine from my old residence to my new one. These are in 2 different states, like 600 kilometers apart, so I put my details in an online website. My first mistake and got a callback from this mover. He said he'd get the job done. He sent me his company details over WhatsApp, and asked for $6 as deposit. The second mistake I made was that I gave a deposit before he even collected my stuff. Well, he kept saying he's sending someone to collect the next 2 to 3 days, and then stopped picking my calls. I checked online reviews and it turns out he's done this to a few other people too. I asked him to refund my money. He kept saying he would but then started ignoring me. So I put up a cybercrime complaint, got in touch with a recovery guy, found an SMS bomber app and kept bombing him 1,000 SMS every 2 HRS relentlessly, put up a complaint on National Consumer Forum, emailed cybercrime officials, fired all missiles at him I could. A week later I got a call from the cops, talked to them. 15 days from the start of this ordeal, this dude starts calling me. I said I wouldn't pick up his phone unless he sends me my money. He kept begging for me to pick it up, and when I didn't, he sent me my money back. So I picked up his call. Turns out the cops blocked off his bank account, and he sent the money from another account. Well, I didn't stop there. I made him send a video of himself and his social security details. Then I told him I'd not unblock his bank account till he gives me info of all the others he has scammed, until he sends me screenshots of returning those people's money. I got names of other people he'd conned, and since he kept calling me, I blocked him. It's been a month now and I got a call from a young lady. She asked me to unblock his number as she is his client and wants her refund from the blocked bank account. This lady had the same name as he had revealed as a person he'd scammed. So basically I explained to her that she'd been scammed and that he gave her my number just to manipulate her, or maybe pressure me in hopes that his bank account will be unblocked. I told her that he'd give so and so other excuses, and those were the exact things he'd send to her. The same modus operandi. I gave her all his info, and even the other account number he'd sent me money from. I've told her how to proceed with the cops and get his other bank account also blocked, and pressure him into giving her money back. She had to recover her item from an abandoned godown, and she'd actually gone to the address and it didn't exist obviously, it's a fake address. I told her he's actually not even in that state, but from another state in a village. As per the info I got from him, and that video I made him send, he's taken $40 from her, which is a lot. So I'm now guiding her to hit him even harder so he lands up in jail, and stops conning people.